Welcome to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. This will be my first of a few videos today. I got another video coming out after this, but I wanted to start with the new coach on the New York Giants staff, that of course being Sean Spencer. And after I did some research, I am very excited about what Coach Chaos brings to the table. I also wanted to say I apologize about the live stream last night in case you didn't see it in my community notes. Some reason my stream went down and I couldn't get it back up, but hopefully I fixed it, and I plan on doing an extra live stream this week for you guys if I have time. This week, and I'm incredibly busy, but I'll try to maybe Monday, Wednesday, whatever. We'll figure it out. But let's jump right into the video. Let's start talking about Coach Spencer. This position, of course, was previously going to be occupied by Freddie Roach of Ole Miss. Another coach that, I really liked, a guy that I thought brought really good credentials, a guy that I thought the team would have fed off of, was known as an up-and-coming coach at Ole Miss. He then got a promotion at Ole Miss to become the assistant head coach and decided to stay because of it. So he turned down the New York Giants job. So now they turn their sights to Coach Chaos. And it's a coach that I really like. When I did a lot of research on him, I pulled up a lot of quotes from former players. I pulled up a lot of former statistics that he brought to the university and was known as one of the best guys in the business. The only link I was able to find between him and Joe Judge was Eric Mangini. Even though that's not really a link, they never coached together. But Eric Mangini played with Spencer. He also coached with him at his first stop. And then, of course, we know that Mangini went to the Patriots, where he was known as this really smart mind, got the job with the Jets, and maybe Judge received word through Belichick about him that way. It's possible. Or maybe he just heard some great things about him. Like I said, he's got a really good reputation in college, and when I did some research on him, I'm honestly surprised that this guy hasn't gotten an NFL job sooner. He's that impressive. Some of the things that I've read about Coach Spencer and what he brings to his defensive unit, and the players absolutely love him, which seems to be a common theme with a lot of these coaches that they're bringing in. It seems to be they're not just looking for smart minds, but they're looking for relatable people that the players relate to, and they see as almost comrades, and that is exactly what Sean Spencer brought to Penn State. But I'm going to show you guys some of the quotes I was able to pull up about him. First thing, as always, we're going to go over the exact quote from New Jersey media breaking the news. The Giants have hired former Penn State defensive line coach Sean Spencer to fill the same role on Joe Judge's coaching staff, an individual with knowledge of the team plan, tells NJ Advanced Media. So there's NJ Advanced Media breaking the news. Then we're going to go over the resume as quickly as we can. Started at Wisconsin as I think that's how you pronounce it, as a wide receiver and tight end coach, which is where he coached with Eric Mangini, and I believe Mangini had a lot to do with the reason why he got the job. Then remained on the offensive end at his next two stops before going to Trinity, getting his first D-line coach, where he would then coach D-line for the most part outside of one stop for the next 20 years. Went to Massachusetts, Holy Cross, then coached linebackers for 1 year at Villanova. Was the D-line coach at Hofstra, which is right across the street from the Nassau Coliseum, really close to where I grew up. The Jets obviously used to practice there. Then went to Massachusetts as a D-line and special teams coach for 2 years, Bowling Green, Vanderbilt, and finally Penn State for the last 6 years, which is where he has excelled. And you could argue, with some of the things you're about to read, might be the best D-line coach in the country. With some of the statistics, it blew my mind when I read what I read, and I'm really excited to have this guy in the staff, and you're about to see why with some of the quotes from his former players and some of his accomplishments. Spencer is considered one of college football's best D-line coaches, and he was an ace recruiter over the last handful of seasons in State College. Also, he was a key member of the staff as he also played the role of associate head coach and took on some of Franklin's responsibilities from that perspective. Franklin, of course, being the head coach for Penn State. Penn State racked up 45 sacks in 2019, and the team's defense has been among the NCAA's sack leaders in each of the last 4 seasons. Spencer, who called his position group the Wild Dogs, was also one of the program's loudest and most outgoing assistant coaches. Love that, the Wild Dogs. I wonder what he's going to come up with for the New York Giants. Maybe you guys could give some suggestions in the comments below. But yeah, love what I hear there. Here is some of the quotes from some of his former players, and this really encouraged me a lot. There's a lot of coaches that I couldn't really relate to, and that they ain't bring that energy that he had, Miller, a Philadelphia native, said. The vibe just wasn't there. You could tell it was a different vibe with Coach Spence Miller said, and he never switched it up since day one. Here's another player. Coach Spencer has a lot of energy to him, redshirt freshman defensive end Daniel Joseph said. A lot of flavor. Joseph then later went on to say, there's always that fire to him, Joseph said. It's consistent every week. So really good stuff. And then finally, I want to pull this up for you guys. Another quote. Our chemistry is real different from everyone else on the team, redshirt sophomore defensive end Shane Simmons told the Daily Collegian. We are much closer and we ride for each other. So there you go. He's saying, out of all the units, the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, everybody on the team, we are the closest unit. And he's crediting Coach Chaos Spencer for that. So really good stuff. Really like reading that. And it sounds to me like he's a really good coach and the type of coach that Joe Judge is looking for this New York Giants football team. Next thing I wanted to pull up for you guys, I know it's small, but I will read it for you guys. Former high school teammate Eric Mangini helped Spencer land his first coaching job at Wisconsin University. Mangini's alma mater, he coached wide receivers and tight ends coach for Division III. All right, so I misspoke. Mangini didn't coach there. It was where he went to school, and he helped Spencer get a job there. Cardinals and learned under head coach Frank Hauser. Spencer nearly landed an entry-level job with Bill Belichick and the Cleveland Browns, where Mangini was working. But the team wanted someone local. So right out of the gate, he almost got a job in the NFL, but because he wasn't close to Cleveland, he didn't get it. Next up, Sean Spencer in his 6th season as the Nittany Lions defensive line coach and 4th as the run game coordinator, he added the title of associate head coach in 2018. The Nittany Lions has posted 4 straight 40-sack seasons, 2015, 16, 17, and 18. The first such streak for the Nittany Lions since team sacks were recorded in 1988. Incredible stuff. And this stat is really eye-opening. In 2018, the defense was a permanent fixture in the opposition's backfield. In 2018, leading the country in sacks, 3.62 per contest for the second time in the last 4 years, and ranking 4th in tackles with 8.2. So 2 times out of the last 4 years, they have led the country in sacks per game. That's incredibly impressive, and he has a lot to do with that. Obviously, Gross Matos is one of the most accomplished DNs in the country. He's a projected late first, early second round pick. But yeah, great stuff. And then this was one player I really wanted to point to because he actually got drafted in the 3rd round, and he learned under the coach. Under Spencer's guidance, former walk-on Carl Nassib burst onto the national scene, winning the Rotary Lombardi Award, the Lot Impact Trophy, Hendricks Award, and Wooden Nagurski Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, while breaking the Penn State single-season sacks record with 15.5 in 2015. Nassib also became Penn State's 13th unanimous consensus All-American. So Nassib, who now plays in the NFL, he was a walk-on at Penn State, a guy that didn't even get a scholarship, a guy that was not highly regarded. Under Spencer, who's widely credited with a lot of the accomplishments for this defensive line, he ended up being a 3rd-round pick in the NFL and was a consensus All-American. So I think it goes to show you that Coach Chaos gets the most out of his players. And that is what we're looking for. And we have a lot of young players on the D-line, on the defense in general. I mean, you look around, I do think that this defensive line, like I've said in previous videos, is the New York Giants' strongest unit on that defense. Between Dexter Lawrence, between Leonard Williams, everybody else, B.J. Hill, everybody else on that D-line. And I think they have a lot of talent. And I don't think they've hit their ceiling yet. I think Dexter Lawrence is going to have a big year this year. I'm a big fan of his. But bringing in a guy like this, hopefully, can get the most out of him. I really love some of these hires that Joe Judge has brought in. I'm really encouraged about the future of this team. And I think they have a great balance of experience and youth. Now, Sean Spencer brings both. He's still relatively young, and he has a lot of experience, albeit not in the NFL. But regardless, he's incredibly accomplished, and his relationship with players in the past is incredibly encouraging. And hopefully he can bring this to the defensive line. He may not have been the first choice. Freddie Roach was, and I was very excited about Freddie Roach. But I'm just as excited, if not more excited, about Spencer. I love this hire. Coach Chaos hopefully brings a lot of chaos to the New York Giants defensive line, and hopefully, brings a lot of chaos to opposing offenses in 2020. But a great job by Joe Judge. I cannot wait to break down the entire coaching staff, compare it to last year's coaching staff, and look at some of the differences. But it's a clear, it's clearly obvious what Joe Judge did. He brought in a lot of guys that players relate to, smart minds, younger minds, and guys that are going to bring energy to this staff. And this guy meets all of that. So I'm really excited. I am really excited about this upcoming season. Hope you guys are too. And that is the final major coaching hire. So welcome, Coach Chaos, to the New York Giants. As always, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.